All right, we're doing for the hat trick here. We got 3 great games to try to tackle here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with a classic. Notre Dame, a 2-loss team, but 2 narrow losses to elite undefeated teams right now, facing USC. What does this game mean to you, and who do you think is going to win it?
It means the chalet. Playing for the chalet.
What is the chalet?
Holtz could never say shillelagh.
What is it?
He could not say it. It's the wooden staff for the leprechaun.
With that crooked stick, the leprechaun waves
Like
around.
a club.
You get fired up about that thing?
It's a trophy game.
Probably fired up the face.
And one of the best rivalries of all time.
I would agree.
Right? So we used to have to take this test about the history of the game. It's a really important one. And when it's in fall in South Bend, there's just nothing like it. What's interesting to me is both of these teams want to assert their dominance. USC has been able to do that despite several injuries on the offensive line, besides several injuries now at the running back position. Yeah. They have a running game to go with a couple of wide receivers and a quarterback that can absolutely chuck it. Notre Dame has struggled with man coverage and through the air. Texas A&M took advantage of it. Miami took advantage of it. And with Makai Lemon and company, they can take advantage of it. So if they've got to load the box, the Irish, to stop the run game of USC, it could be a long, long afternoon. Alas, I don't think they do. C.J. Carr's spinning it really well. The running game is starting to come along for Notre Dame. We know how good their backs are.
We are trying to pick 3 games here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Homer.
Notre Dame wins.
Okay, Homer.
Notre Dame wins.
Who you got, Randy?
Notre
wow.
Dame.
That chalet keep going and going and going.
We should not let Aaron go first on the feud.
The chalet.
I look at the Notre Dame running game against the USC defense. USC's got a really good defense. They are very talented, I think, especially their front 7. That, to me, is kind of the matchup that'll decide this thing. If Notre Dame can hold on to the ball, run the ball like they normally do, and throw the ball effectively, I think they can win the game. I believe they're going to win the game.
Dan Lynn has a ton of more confidence in his back end now, the secondary, because they were beaten up heading into that Illini game. And he had to help those guys out. And the reason why Illinois was able to run right through that front 7, you mentioned, Randy, but they are better. And they showcased that last week versus a vaunted Michigan run game, holding them to 109 yards rushing. First game all season, Michigan has not had a rush TD. So they're coming together over there on that side of the ball. They're still young, but I think they're going to be able to hold up against this Notre Dame rush attack, which is one of the best in the country right now. Offensively, yes, they have to have balance. They've got to make sure they can run the rock as they did last week versus Michigan's defense. I wouldn't say Notre Dame's defense any better than Michigan's defense. So if they can replicate what they did on the ground and also get the ball at times to those talented wide receivers there at USC, the Trojans can win this ballgame.
Okay. Texas A&M put a bunch of points on the board. Miami was able to move the ball against this Notre Dame defense. To me, the strength of the Notre Dame team is offensively. Yeah. Love and Price are legitimate. C.J. Carr's proven that he can play. I think Notre Dame's gifted. I think the fact that their 2 losses are against teams that are still undefeated sets them up for the rest of the season. That makes this a huge game. But here's what I believe about USC. Different from years past, while Lincoln Riley's been in Los Angeles, he's committed to running the football. The fact that they outrushed Michigan last week says to me that he absolutely wants that feather in his cap and wants to talk to his team about we're physical. And if they go into South Bend with that mantra and can move the ball on the ground, Maava and Lemon are an unbelievable pair. It's like Stafford and Puka Nacua for the Rams. They hit everything. And against a defense that is okay, but not certainly elite by Notre Dame standards, I think the Trojans can win this, and actually I kind of expect them to.
Okay. We also need Puka Nacua to get healthy again for the fantasy team, just so you know.
Okay.
So we'll see if the Trojans
keep track of that.
Kind of shake off some of those road woes that they also have when they travel east against ranked teams. So the SEC, we did another clip with Ole Miss against Georgia. There's 2 other games where you have ranked teams against each other, including the traditional 3rd Saturday in October, which means Alabama and Tennessee. BJ, Alabama couldn't stop the Vols' running attack a year ago. It was a problem for them even during this winning streak. What's your take on this one? Again, a night game, this one in Tuscaloosa.
Well, they'll get another taste of that running game there at Tennessee, but they impressed last week on the road in Columbia, Missouri. They shut down the nation's leading rusher, Ahmad Hardy. 52 yards rushing is all he had. Missouri amassed their lowest rush total as a team all season because of that Bama defense. So they went in making sure they took that away, and they were successful. And once again, they led in turnover margin, 2-1. They're one of the best in the nation in that category also. So what also stands out to me is the fact that Jeremy Bernard, Ryan, Williams?
He didn't have
Those
a catch.
guys, but they had about 20 yards in receptions. So they were non-factors in this victory, and Alabama still had enough to get a W on the road versus a ranked opponent. So I'm going with Bama at home.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking about Alabama, Tennessee, all these things. You know, it's been fun to watch this Bama team play is this Caden Proctor thing, with the way they've used him. They threw him a pass outside. They let him carry the ball. Can you remember the last time? I mean, winning is fun. Winning is the only reason you play.
Practice fun. Everybody can't wait to see how they're going to use them
Except for the
this week.
scout team defense.
Practice is fun. These guys look like they're having a really good time, and give the coaches a world of credit of what's going on at Alabama right now. The way the season started and the way they're looking right now, I think they win this one.
He's a proud member of Big Man Nation, man. And I agree with you, Randy. It really looks like this is a deliberate effort by Kalen DeBoer to get back to having fun. There was so much pressure early on. They call it the crispy package after a very famous donut maker, if you will. And everybody's looking forward to it. All the offense is looking forward. The defense is looking for what's the play going to be? What are they working on? The scout team gets into it. They've created a culture of having fun. Meanwhile, Ty Simpson is throwing darts. This dude is quickly emerging as possibly the best quarterback in the country, with maybe the highest upside in the NFL with some of the throws that he's making already. He bode his time. He was patient. He waited. And now he's making the rest of the SEC pay the price for that patience. It's been super fun to watch. They've got the wide receivers. They've been inconsistent there. The running game isn't quite what it was, but neither is Tennessee's defense. They've given up over 200 yards on the ground these last 2 weeks. I think Alabama's going to be able to run it good enough. I think they get their passing game back on track. It'll be high scoring, but Bama wins.
To your point, I think this is a quarterback matchup. At the beginning of the season, both the quarterbacks were question marks. Would Ty Simpson inherit this role and be good enough? He's been fantastic, to your point. He's outstanding. The ability to see down the field, the elusiveness to make plays off script, awesome. And I would say that Tennessee's got to be wildly excited about what Joey Aguilar's brought to the table. They're a field goal away from being undefeated. They should have, a 43-yarder against Georgia, and they're sitting here undefeated and in the top 5 in the country. That is rare air for a kid that was in spring ball at UCLA. That's a monster accomplishment. So what is the race here? I think it's time of possession, because Alabama has figured out, how can we protect our defense a little bit? Let's hold on to the ball. 37 minutes in both the last 2 games. Tennessee's running game would allow Josh Heupel to do that very same thing, and we've seen him do it. If you go back when Nico was the quarterback against Oklahoma last year, they ended up holding on to the ball. I think we're going to see who can win that time of possession as the winner of this game, and I'm going to lean Tide just because they're the home team.
Even though you think quick strike more sometimes with Tennessee, right?
Yeah. I think Hype's going to sit there and say, we cannot let them just keep us limited to plays. Yes, we're going to take some shots down the field to Brazel and company, but we need to run the ball because they have been vulnerable to running the ball. Georgia just a couple of weeks ago went for well over 200.
I still think of Jalen Hyatt hauling in 5 touchdowns against Alabama a few years ago. All right, we got this one other game, very interesting. LSU and Vandy, they don't usually play each other in traditional divisions of SEC. Now it's all one big thing. This is a team in LSU that's used to kicking off at night, but this one is noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Vandy is favored against a ranked team for the first time since at least 1978. But 2 one-loss teams here, Randy. What's your take?
I like Vandy in this game for a lot of reasons. Diego Pavia is one of the main ones. I also enjoy the way their defense plays. I mean, they're giving up 65 yards a game on the ground, and that is going to be big in this LSU game because LSU, I think, is going to have to make a point of running the game and saving their season. They can't put the ball. I mean, sorry, Nussmeier, just you've tried and you've tried and you've tried, and that square block is not going into that round hole. And can't be the reason. He can be the reason you lose. I'm not sure he's going to be the reason they win, and I think Vandy wins.
It's really interesting. You look at LSU last week. They had 5 sacks. They really tried to come after Lenore Sellers. They blitzed them a lot, but that defense got gashed in the run game at times when South Carolina can't run the football. But you know who can run that football? Vanderbilt.
Yep.
So we've seen this LSU defense be spectacular all season. They've got some playmakers. We know Whit Weeks is going to be throwing up on somebody and doing what he does.
Gross.
This is them against Florida. You're welcome.
He's the sharer.
So this is the second week in a row they get to see a mobile quarterback. The difference is this offensive line from Vanderbilt, there's a very strong argument to say that they're the best O-line in the SEC.
Isn't that something?
They can run the football, and Diego Pavia, if you give him time and you let him get outside the pocket and create, he's really hard to corral. I like Vandy. They're a for-real team. I think they get the win at home.
Those highlights we just saw were all about LSU attacking a drop-back quarterback.
Yep.
That's not Vanderbilt's offense. Clark Lee has constructed, actually he went and kind of store-bought an offense from New Mexico State, going and getting Jerry Kill, the offensive coordinator, a couple other assistants, and Diego Pavia, not to mention Eli Stowers, the tight end. They bring the entire pistol offense, and they've said, we're going to run the ball. So you can't sit there and be flying off the edges against this defense, because Diego's a master of it. He's going to have it in the belly of that running back, give it when he needs to, keep it when he needs to, and you're going to have to play gap-sound defense with great eye discipline, or you're going to be in harm's way. And you're going to be playing in Vanderbilt, in Nashville, with an actual home crowd for Vandy, which is rare. For years and years, it was the visiting team. Yep. All the fans would come to go and hang out on the honky-tonks on Broadway. Now they're going to actually watch their Commodore program. This is a new Vanderbilt operation here, and I'm going to take him. Clark Lee used to coach for me. I'm so happy for him. Brian Kelly's going to have his ears pinned back to get this one done.
So it's not just Hampton met Hampton rooting for Vandy in there.
What LSU's has to do defensively is keep Pavia in that offense in 3rd and long. You got to keep them in predictable situations, because they're great at converting 3rd downs. And if they don't do that, it's going to be a long afternoon, long morning, late morning, afternoon for this LSU football team, and they're not used to that at all. You mentioned it, that the majority of their games are at night, and now you got to play at 11 a.m. So if they can keep him corralled, what do we call it? Caging is what they did to Damon Williams, Ohio State. If they can do that and get him in 3rd and long, now you can pin your ears back. But even in that situation, you better stay in your lane, because he will exploit it if it's voided. So that and the running game. They had some semblance of a running game last week, did LSU. I think that was their best running performance on the season last week. But they're going to have to bring that in. Nussmeier, man, 2 interceptions last week. LSU had 3 turnovers in the red zone. 3. Cannot do that on the road. I'm going to take LSU, though.
Okay. All right, so see how all of our picks shake out, and then some, on Inside College Football every Tuesday night, CBS Sports Network.